Video of the lava flow in Hawaii catches a rare occurrence. Blue flames spotted coming from cracks in the ground feet away from the lava flow. Those are a result of the methane gas the lava produces as it lays waste to plants and trees. The gas can also cause explosions if ignited, causing scientists to issue extreme warnings. Meantime, new eruptions bracing some residents with further uncertainty. So far, 2,000 people have been evacuated. Already, lava has destroyed 50 buildings and close to 24 homes.
So the big news breaking this morning, the White House calling off the much anticipated summit meeting with North Korea. The president tweeting about it just moments ago saying, "Sadly, I was forced to cancel the summit meeting in Singapore with Kim Jong-un." That's it, short and sweet. Meanwhile, today is going to be a long day for the Justice Department. Two big meetings are set with top lawmakers and the heads of both the FBI and the DOJ. Both meetings talking about the president's spying claims. Joining me now is Senate GOP Conference Chairman John Thune. We have a lot to get to this morning, so let me jump right in. First of all, what is your reaction to the cancellation of the North Korean summit? Do you think it was about the deal that was on the table and maybe not liking that? Was it about the words? What's your feel?
I think, and good morning, by the way, Melissa, but I think it's a combination of all the above. I think the administration made a judgment based on some of the preliminary discussions, some of the rhetoric coming out of North Korea here of late. Obviously, the meetings the president had with President Moon of South Korea this week, in which they talked a lot about this. I think it's pretty clear, at least at this point, that Kim Jong-un is pulling back and intensifying some of the rhetoric, and I think the president made the right decision. And we've always approached this with a certain amount of cautious optimism. It's a missed opportunity, I think, for the North Koreans because they had an awful lot to gain had they been at the table. But if they're not willing to denuclearize, I think the president has made it clear that's his priority. That's I think the world community's priority, and if they're not going to go there, then it's time to pull back and perhaps take another look at this and restart those negotiations at another time.
Well, every meaningful deal falls apart and gets back together and falls apart before it happens, so we will see. Time will tell. Let me ask you about the meetings that are supposed to go on today, revealing what was going on in the FBI and the DOJ. Do you have hope that anything meaningful will be learned, or does it feel like it's getting a little crazy right now in terms of who's invited, who's not?
Yeah, it seems like the invitation list or the guest list has become more of an issue than it really ought to be. But I hope that at least having a bicameral, bipartisan sit down where you've got members from both the House and the Senate, Republicans and Democrats in the same room, that whatever information is imparted there will shed some light on some of these questions and hopefully enable us to get some answers. Now, obviously, there are many of us who aren't going to be at that meeting that are very interested in what's going on as well. And if, in fact, there were attempts by the DOJ or the FBI to have some interference in the last election, it's something that we all need to know. So I hope they get to the bottom of it today and that there's more information that comes out of it as the day wears on.
It sounds like you're not going. Are you comfortable with that?
You know, I think I understand and I get the intelligent sensitivities of this, and those who have the very top level security clearances, the so-called Gang of Eight, are the folks that normally get presented with this information, but hopefully eventually we'll see it as well.
Meanwhile, in the midst of all of this, the president out talking about the midterms elections as well. Here's what he said.
Your vote in 2018 is every bit as important as your vote in 2016. Although I'm not sure I really believe that, but you know. I don't know who the hell wrote that line. I'm not sure. But it's still important, remember that. That's why we will be campaigning for every last vote in every part of our great country.
Does that sort of sum it up?
Well, I think the president's going to be very involved, and we're obviously very interested in the Senate. We have a very narrow 50-49 majority right now. Makes it challenging to get things done. And if we want to get the president's agenda, our agenda, across the finish line, growing and expanding that majority, giving us more Republican senators is enormously important. And I think the president gets that.
Do you feel like you're going to have more? I mean, what does it feel like right now to you?
Well, I think it feels good. I mean, I think the states that we're contending in, the competitive races are in states where the president did well, where we think we've got a really good opportunity and good candidates. So it all comes down to fielding good candidates, making sure they're resourced, having a good message, hopefully benefiting from at least a reasonably good environment. And if you look at it today, of course, things can change, campaigns and all these environment changes over time, but frankly, I think we're in pretty good position right now, and optimistic that we could have some good successes this fall.
Senator John Thune, thank you for that.
Thanks, Melissa.
Much more ahead on our top story as the U.S. pulls out of a planned summit with Kim Jong-un. New reaction from Congresswoman Martha McSally, who sits on the House Armed Services Committee. That's ahead. Plus, police are apologizing after the release of body camera footage showing an officer using his taser on a professional athlete during what was supposed to be a routine stop for a parking violation.
Our department conducted an investigation into the incident, which revealed members acted inappropriately, and those members were recently disciplined.
Hey, we didn't have a homeowner's claim last year, so I'll